Call the meeting to order, Central Lake Township, a regular board meeting, Wednesday, May 21st, 2014. Start with the pledge of allegiance to the flag. Reading the wrong, okay. June 18th, reading off of the minutes, 2014, sorry.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Gadwau.
Present.
Koslowski here. Mullens.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Bean.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Any additions to the agenda? Not, can we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion we approve tonight's agenda. I'll support.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is approved. Approval of minutes, May 21st, 2014, regular board meeting.
If everybody has run them ahead of time, I will make a motion to approve them right now.
I'll support.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Public comment. Melissa. If you want to be in the
I'll be right here.
you're gonna have to come up here.
I'll just be right here.
Okay.
As you know, we talked a little bit about village cleanup some time ago, and I'm not here to beg you to do it or anything. I would just like to be able to, take maybe the next 1 month and talk with some people and gather some information and maybe come back next month with an agenda item and talk about it to see if there's some potential to do something. I don't know what the solution is, but I'd like to be able to try to find something that can help the folks out here in the village and the township.
Melissa, anything that is for the people that live here, we'd be glad to put it on the agenda.
Thank you.
If you're requesting that, it'll be on next month's agenda.
Thank you very much.
We'll discuss it then, there's no sense of anything with it now. Approval.
Can I get?
Yeah, you can get into it.
Good,
I won't keep you.
Just real quick,
I was
thank
gonna
you.
get you ahead of the fire chief, but
He's not even here, is he?
No.
I'm way ahead of him.
he's vacation.
He's in service.
Oh, is he? He goes church?
Yeah.
Just real quick, I don't really have a lot, but I wanted to stop. Some of your stats real quick. You had a total of 88 calls of service for May of 2014. Last year, 2013, you had 70. A couple comparisons real quick. Your 911 checks were up by a couple. You had 9 last year. You had 11 May of 2014. Animal control complaints were up by 4. You had 6 this year. You had 2 last year. Prior year accidents, you killed 1. You didn't have any last year. Marine patrol complaints, you didn't have any last year, and you had 1 this year. Stops were 9, and it was down by 1. You only had 8 May of 2014. Medical calls were up by 3. You had 11 last year. You had 14. You didn't have any personal injury accidents. You had 3 last year. Property damage accidents were up by 1. You had 2 of those. You only had 1 last year. Traffic stops were up by 6. You had 2 last year. You had 8 this year. Again, total calls of service were 88. A couple things with personnel real quick. We are finally, after about 18 months, go back to full staff in corrections. The gentleman in dispatch that started here about 3 months ago is making great progress. So we're almost back to full staff in dispatch. And with road patrol, we're still down by 3. We have been approved to hire 2. Last time I was here, I don't think, Jeff Weinkoop, who some of you know had retired April 5th. 23 years of service. He did a little bit of everything within the department. Was a detective for quite some time and been a sergeant when he retired. The board allowed us to replace him as a body, as a deputy, and then also make a promotion within the department. One of our promotions now for the sergeants is Cal Smith, and just came on board as a sergeant this week. So, and they were getting ready to hire 2 people. We've done our interviews. We looked at backgrounds on 3 or 4, and we're going to pick 2 of those. Even with those 2 back, I'm still down 1. Dave Cockwell still out with a blown up shoulder. Has had some problems for the last couple of years with the healing process. So we're still waiting to see what's gonna happen with him yet, so, where that stands still. 4th of July, we're getting geared up for, 4th of July. We'll be down there, we'll set up on Thursday the 3rd, we'll be down there the 4th and 5th, and then we'll be starting to do some tear down on Sunday the 6th. The state police has sent us their agenda, they're getting ready. We've also met with Kalkaska, so we're proceeding the same as usual. Most of you probably already know, and it's been out there, that the fireworks will not be going off down in Torch Lake due to some mandates from ATF. I don't know the whole story, but I know a part of it. Part of it has to do with the bombing out in Boston. A lot of that stuff was done with fireworks powder when they did it. And ATF is they've had a lot of rules, and they've kind of clamped down on the rules they had. Transporting is part of the problem with the south end of Torch Lake, because once they get it there, then they have to transport out on a barge. And ATF is saying, well, once you're there, it stays there, and you can't re-transport it. So they have to go through some real permits, and they weren't going to be able to do that within the 4-week time frame. They had called ATF, and they said, well, who are you? And they said, we've been doing this for years with you people. They don't know who you're even talking to. So there's some confusion on what's going on. Had nothing to do with the business, it just has to do with what ATF is doing business. You have to have it bonded, you have to have some kind of security with it, all kinds of stuff now that you're doing. And again, just to reiterate myself, that was part from that Boston bonding they had, and that's why they're doing that. So, but we're still geared up. I have the feeling we're still going to have the problem no matter what, because the way the fireworks laws are now, they can shoot them off and buy the big ones, and law enforcement doesn't have a lot of recourse as far as enforcement efforts. So we think we're still going to have fireworks down there, just won't be the businessmen doing it. So the only other thing I have here is an annual report for you from the sheriff's office. It was approved in May of 2000, this last May. So if you have any questions, you can look through it. Make yourself copies, no problem. I got 15 boards plus villages and 5 people on each board. So make yourself copies. If you have any questions, give us a call. That talks about anything from food services to the jail, revenue, costs, the CPLs. The program we started a couple years ago with the courthouse security, Marine Patrol, Snowmobile Patrol, you name it, it talks about it. So if there's any questions, please give myself and my undersheriff a call. So, other than that's all I got. I'm still being chatted. So.
Any questions? I guess. Thanks for the report. Anyone else? Public comment? Approval of invoices in the amount $21,474.08.
I'll make a motion that we approve the invoices as submitted. We will support it.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Gadwau,
Yes.
Koslowski, yes. Mullens,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Dean.
Yes. Okay, move on to officer's report. Fire Chief Bill Chaplin. Our fire chief is on vacation. I'll give his report. For the fire department, total number of alarms is 25, 4 were fire calls, 21 were rescue runs, 1 mutual aid, and 1 incident into Echo Township. Fire department did training, EMS training, truck maintenance, and water supply. So move on to the treasurer's report. Andrew Smith.
Alright, I submitted both April and May. On May, we wrote the check to the county for Russian Road after the end of May, so it's not showing the 144,750 that we deposited for Russian. So that would leave us a balance of 164,930, and then we have approximately 50,000 left to pay for Russian. So once we pay for all of Russian Road, we'll have a balance around $115,000 in the public improvement fund.
Bunker Hill.
Or Bunker Hill, I'm sorry. Yeah, Bunker Hill. We're paving Russian too, not just kidding. Sorry, misspoke there. Yeah, so Bunker Hill. So once we're done with Bunker Hill, we'll have approximately $115,000 $150,000.
Okay, move on to.
Question? Can I ask a question? Is that money, does take effect what the county board, road commission passed for a change in their share?
Okay, that's the payment we made now. We haven't had anything in writing, verbal. I believe the whole total was about 193 something, and that 10% would come off of that.
Okay, so this doesn't reflect that.
That is correct. I was just factoring based on our current contract. Once we change it, then I'll adjust my figures. But
Thank you.
I thought they said you didn't pay you.
I'm gonna do that in my report.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
That's fine, I don't have a problem. Move on, our clerk report, Judy Koslowski.
Well, Andrew and I seem to be having a problem with our accounting software. At least once a week, we have to put a service call in and spend an hour. We did it again today, and they said it's not the software, it's our networking. In light of that, when we had our audit done, our audit bill was $1,650 higher than it normally would because they had to spend extra time reconciling the program. It was hitting my general ledger form 5 times, and Andrew couldn't even get it. So they want to talk to Andrew next week and tell him what needs to be corrected, and I'll have Bo come in and go from there. Otherwise, we're going to have to look at a new software program, which I really, really don't want to look at. Because the reason we maintained this was because of the village. We kind of hold each other's hand. BSNA is going to be well over 10 grand, probably higher.
Well, I would imagine BSNA is gonna be over 20 grand at the time it's done.
Could be.
I believe that.
But I can't see-
Looks like I went over 20, I know it was over 18 at the time when I talked to him.
And there's nothing wrong with the program, it's just this glitch that we've had, and I guess it existed for a couple of years before it even came back and nobody addressed it. And the ballots are supposed to be here for the August election by the end of the year. I mean, by the end of the week.
We all do that.
Comes with age.
I like the end of the year better.
So do I. And that's all I have.
Okay, the township audit, just come back today, and that is posted online. If anybody wants to look at the township audit, go under Michigan.gov and keep following the steps and see the entire audit. As was just referred to, when Walt Ransom, me and the clerk, Judy Koslowski, went through the Antrim County Road Commission and, went to the meeting and wanted to find out why they weren't giving a 10% on county roads when they were giving it on township roads. And after much discussion between their board, they felt that that probably wasn't fair, and they agreed that they would go ahead and do the same participation with our county roads as they were doing with the township roads. So we should be have additional 10% of Bunker Hill, which again was, I think, $193,000 or some odd dollars, and have that to put into our roads. That's all I had to report. Move on to committee reports. Waste receiving station.
Yeah, the only thing I've got to report up there, we're starting to drive back. We're gonna have to cut that down. But we're driving back to where we're gonna dump all the heavy logs, or I've had people come up there with cement. One guy hauled in quite a bit of broken up concrete that he took out of his business. And we've been dumping it over the side, and I had him get back in there. So I think once we get that packed and we drive on it enough, then we'll see how much gravel we'll need to put in there. And that's all I got.
Okay, this by trustee Gadwau. Move on to cemetery committee.
I don't have anything on the cemetery other than you guys are mowing grass right now, every day. They fertilize down there. That's about it.
That was looking good, definitely for Memorial Day. I think we're ready to have to look at, probably painting some of that fence this year too. Maybe do a section each year, whatever we feel, a third of it each year. Some of it looks like it's getting a little rusty again, and get it before it gets too bad. Okay, move on to, facility.
Yes, I had Gene Thayer stopped in today on that instant hot water heater that we've got under the sink. Actually, it was cheaper to put a brand new one in than it is to get the replacement parts for it. Then we'd have to wait for the replacement parts, so I told him to go ahead and put to replace it. You'll have it in tomorrow morning so Judy, or for Linda can have hot water, instant hot water. And that's all I have for this.
Okay, any other committee reports?
Waste, or as far as I know, the access sites, they did that a couple of weeks ago, and they're gonna try to hit them next week. They won't get them this week.
Then we probably should look at that, northern access site, and maybe get topsoil in there, get it finished.
Oh, you mean down there?
It's Lake Street,
Right.
and there's two Lake Streets.
There's two
The-
Lake
the
Street.
northern-
Lake Avenue is what.
Okay, Lake Avenue, is that the way we're gonna
Right.
identify it?
Yes,
Lake Street and Lake Avenue, okay, Lake Avenue.
Where's Lake Avenue?
that's down by the cemetery. You know where the Torchwood
Right.
Cemetery is?
Oh, by the Torch Lakes?
Yeah, at the north end of the township.
That's right, the north end, very north end,
North of Brownwood.
quite a ways north of Brownwood. Sure. It's down past Wilkinson Creek.
You know, if they ever do anything with this, lake trail they're talking about, that would be a nice place for them to stop. And it's rough enough in there now that, they really can't get in there and mow it, so maybe we can address that one. Any other committee reports? Not, we'll move on to unfinished business, the file for the activity room.
Well, in light of the fact that we had such a big discrepancy between the two quotes, I called Stone Mountain back and asked them if that was all inclusive for the, 6,900, and he hadn't included the rip-up and disposal. So he amended his quote to 83.90 for everything, and he said it was absolutely impossible to start in that room on a Thursday afternoon, rip, dispose, put the new floor down, and have it done in a day and a half. He said it would take him at least 3 to 4. So I called him back and asked if they work weekends, and he said it's a commercial job. They'll work on the weekend, and it will cost nothing else. So his total price out the door is $8,390.
Well, what was some of the cost of the other stuff?
He didn't include-
I don't have my paperwork with me. Didn't we get prices on some other stuff too?
No, I only got
Instead
one
of just
from
one?
Kiss and Stone. Kiss Carpet and Stone were the only two I got.
What am I thinking of?
Oh.
I thought we did,
Because I talked to the girl at the pizza place, and they got theirs from Lowe's, and it was over $6,000 just for the tile, and then Mr. Rubus did the installation.
Yeah, that's the same stuff I put in my kids' house.
Yeah, so, and it's the exact same tile, because I had the books here. So I'd like a motion to go ahead and contact Stone Mountain and try and set something up. This room is booked the whole month of July, so it's gonna have to go to August. And Linda said she could cancel 2 days' lunch, so they could come in Wednesday afternoon and work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and be done. But that's all they ask, is just to have enough time to get a crew in place.
Why don't you make that?
I make a motion that we award the bid to Stone Mountain Carpet Mills to do the flooring, which includes the rip-up, disposal, vinyl base, the installation of the new tile, the underfloor, and the new 4-inch vinyl base adhesive, and minor floor prep for a total cost, including freight, of $8,390.
I'll support it.
No further discussion, not, clerk, please call the roll.
Gadwau,
Yes.
Koslowski, yes, Mullens,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, a resolution to allow local residents to protest to the border review in writing. The new equalization director notified the township that we need a resolution in place, and that's what we have before us. Everyone has a copy.
This is from, where do we end up with this resolution? Where did it come from?
It's right there with a sample from MTA. This is,
If everybody's happy with it, I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll support it.
and let me call the roll on that.
Gadwau,
Yes.
Koslowski, yes, Mullens,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Dean.
Yes.
Does that have to be published, Dan? No.
No.
No, it's not an ordinance, it's just a
No,
resolution.
it's just a resolution.
I need to read
A
it.
resolution.
I just need to read it, that's all.
Okay, road fill installation at waste receiving station.
Well, I went and had Buckman come in, and they gave us a couple of quotes here. The one from the road back to the bank is 170 yards of stabilized gravel and 4 loads of dirt to fill in that one bare spot, and that's for that is for the road going back into the, over the bank.
All the way to the bank.
Yeah. I think what I'd like to do on that, I mean, it's $4,110 for all that's the bulldozing work and everything.
4,000. I say 4,010.
4,110.
4,110, yeah.
Well, I think that we went up there and looked at that, you know, we're gonna try and mow that and see what we can do. And
Well, that's what we talked about when we looked at it up there, and I think if we get it mowed down and have people start driving back, I don't know, Sam, were you gonna bring some stuff up too, or?
I don't,
Dump over the side.
no, I wasn't gonna. I'm gonna keep all of my stuff.
Oh, are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm not gonna dispose of mine that way. But I know I can't drive my dump truck back in there, because I walked it,
Mhm.
and I'll get the dump truck stuff.
you've been up there now, I mean, it's.
Yeah, I was last,
Were you?
I think not last weekend, the weekend
Okay.
before I was up there, and it was still wet enough, I wouldn't dare drive my dump truck. I think it's got just enough clay on the top of it to make it soft for us.
But what I'd like to do is cut it down, we got all that grass holding moisture, cut it down, have the cars drive back and forth and pack it down. I was up there with my truck and the township trailer, we're hauling stuff away from the library and taking it up there, and I had no trouble. But like I said, the guy got in there with, he had a big load of cement, it was from the laundromat up there, and he had 3 or 4 loads that he took in there and dumped it over the side. So I'd like to try it, and let's see what happens. If we have to go ahead and put the gravel in, or get Buckman's to come in, we're gonna have to do it, or have somebody.
Okay, what about the second part of it?
Now, the second part is the,
I might be getting ahead of Stan too, I'm sorry to
No,
speak.
that's fine, he's talking about both.
the second part is from the containers from our blacktop where it comes around the circle where we got the containers. We want to bring that, we want to be able to bring the containers down further. So it'd be from the one container all the way down, almost to the edge of the driveway that goes up to the tower. And they would bring in 14 loads of fill dirt, because there is that one low spot there. And then they would be bringing in the 50 yards of stabilized gravel. And that comes to, with their bulldozing and everything, that comes to $2,330. I'd really like to get that done right away.
And we could, I think we have the money within the budget to pay for this.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
we put money in there.
Put money in there? Could we physically make a motion to pass both of these upon Bill, because I don't wanna see Bill have to come back here, if somebody goes up there in 3 weeks and gets stuck and he says, I need the gravel brought in to build the road, go all the way back. And I'd like to be able to let him have the authority to go ahead and, I would like to make a motion to approve both of them to get done.
Well, the only thing is, we're getting to such a amount of money, then we should go out for additional bids. I think maybe the one in 2,000, that's enough material that, maybe we could accept the one bid, but when we get, that was our board rules, that, we get, up into $4,000, we have to have more than one bid.
$4,000 is high.
Yeah, I would prefer, Sam, just to go with the one, and I don't think there's a problem with that, and mow that down and then have a better idea what we need in
And
there.
then if we do opt for this, we'll do something different.
Right.
I will make a motion to accept Buckman's bid of $2,330 to fix around the dumpsters with the waste receiving station.
I'll support that.
So basically you're tabling the first part of it, right?
Right,
Right.
right.
Okay, let's go over that one.
Gadwau,
Yes.
Koslowski, yes, Mullens,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes. Waste receiving station, holiday closing. I was working that day, I had numerous calls, and here's one letter that was in your packet. And we've never closed this before, and I feel that, and this is my personal feelings on Memorial Day and Labor Day, that there's a lot of people that are up here that's opening up Labor Day, closing their cottages, and I think that we have an obligation to have that open. And I believe some of the other board members have called home on it.
I had 9 calls at home.
I got approached by a few people out in the public. I explained to them what it was, but they said you never closed it before and you always worked. I don't know, if we, we got a situation coming up, I believe the 4th of July is on Friday.
Well, they just get off on
They just
Friday.
get
Yeah,
Friday.
they just get off on
So
Friday.
the only
night.
problem-
They work Saturday.
Right, right.
The only problems we have now, or this year, is Memorial Day and Labor Day.
Labor
And
Day.
Memorial Day's on a Monday.
Right.
I mean, Labor Day's on a Monday.
What happened was the federal government, and I think all of us know this, at one time, you took if Memorial Day fell on a Wednesday, you're back to work on a Thursday. And they made it so they got pressure from the big three, the unions and everything. So they made it that they'd always have the long weekend for Memorial Day, Labor Day. And of course, some of the companies will close down for the 4th of July. Some of them might not. So I think our problem is, like you said, Memorial Day and Labor Day would be our worst problem.
And so we pay them time and a half, 2 days out of the year. I mean, I don't think that's gonna affect the township budget.
And if one of them, if we got the 3 people now, if one of them wants to take the day off and the other 2 want to work,
That's time plus time.
Yeah, it's their
Yeah,
regular
well, they
pay
get the
plus
day.
time and a half.
Yeah, they get their day plus time and a
time and a
half.
half.
Right.
2.5 times pay, basically, to work that day,
Right.
if they work it.
My only thoughts is that there's, we gotta make sure that people are being taken care of, but at the same time, like, with dump being open on Saturday and Tuesday, there's never a chance for them to get a 3-day weekend. Like most jobs, how you get a 3-day,
Transfer station.
or transfer station, yes.
We don't want to do.
The waste receiving station is, Saturday and Tuesday, the most they're ever gonna get is a 2-day weekend. And so I don't know how we could ever rectify that, because it's always nice to have an extra day once in a while, on holidays, but, I mean, at the same time, we do have to look out for the majority's interest, but,
And our work week is Tuesday to Saturday.
and, yeah.
That's where the problem's at, the work week. Work
Yeah.
week's an odd work week, that's all.
Yeah.
Right, it's an
But-
odd work week,
but
but that's
They
just
took
the
the job
job.
knowing it's an odd work week
That's
too,
right,
so
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the job, that's just like, Sam's gonna be out there working the 4th of July, I'm sure, or at least some of his men are. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just part of the job,
The
and if you
nature of
take
it,
the
yeah.
job, that's
Right,
the job.
But like I said, I understand where the anger's starting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do
Because some
too.
guys they wanna go see family on Memorial Day, I don't blame them, earlier today. That's what we all do,
But between,
But the three of them,
Three
or
of
at least
them,
two of them.
because if they're open on Saturday,
And
and
if you can't leave till late and then run the next
to,
one.
to me, I don't see it being an issue. That's me though.
well, right, I mean, they're getting the time and a half, I don't,
Well, I mean, I don't see it being an issue with it being closed on 2 days,
I do.
so.
Yeah.
Is,
And we talked about this when we implemented.
Well, I know, but
the
it's-
manual, and we knew it was gonna cause a conflict.
Right, but again, we have an obligation to the taxpayers, and that's the job.
Well, things change as the world revolves. They've gotten so used to it being open on that Tuesday and Saturday that everybody just automatically thinks that way. And now that we implemented a personnel policy that we all knew was gonna cause a conflict, which is helping our employees, now we wanna go back on that.
You know.
So now I go back to the employees, now how are they gonna feel? And to me, I just don't feel that's right, but that's only me, I'm one person here.
Again, I just got done saying you're gonna work 4th, right, or something, and then, maybe they don't
That's
like
fine.
it. Oh, I know,
Yeah,
that's
I
why,
understand that.
You know.
Don't use me for an example.
okay.
really prefer not to work this way.
I'm a bad one to use for an example, I'm a salaried employee, so it doesn't matter.
I don't know, I just think we should have it open. They're gonna make out, they're gonna get the regular pay and time and a half. Both of them don't have to be there. One can work with board if the other one wants a day off, or it's their choice. I just, in light of the Memorial Day debacle, I think they should be open.
And again, I think we owe that to the taxpayers, I mean, or whatever they want. They can't, it's too much to load in their trunk and take it home. They don't
I
wanna
wouldn't take it
throw it in the field next door, they don't wanna put it in a ditch alongside of the road. I think it's our job to provide a place for them to get rid of it. So anyway, I make a motion that we keep it open on Tuesday for the Memorial and Labor Day holidays.
I'll support.
You can put in what you count, no?
Pardon?
Yeah,
Or-
time plus time
Yeah,
and a half.
it's in the manual, yes, yeah. There's no, I don't think there's no question.
Time plus time and a half.
Yeah, right.
And I'll amend our guideline manual too.
To say, no.
Okay, that motion on the floor, all in favor? Opposed?
You, what did you, no?
No. I think, St. Louis is one for,
Huh?
were you aye or you?
No, I'm no, I didn't approve,
Okay, so 2 noes.
Okay.
2 no's.
Okay, motion passed, 3-2. Okay, paving of West State Street. And this 110,000, this is spelled out here, 4-foot shoulders, 2-foot gravel. Eventually, there's probably some section of that road that will need an overlay at a little later date, but this is all the money that we have, and that would be only on the travel sections. So, we discussed this at length about widening those shoulders all the way from Torch Lake to the village limits for safety factor and also to stop some of the breakdown on shoulders.
But I have a question. If the road is breaking down, why are we gonna put shoulders out there?
Well, the shoulder, what they do is will pack against it, cover that, and it'll stop a lot of that.
But wouldn't it be better if we just held on to this 110 and did the whole road?
You know,
Resurface the whole road?
the whole road, all of it doesn't need it.
I kind of feel the same way Judy does. I think, why are we gonna go in and pave 6 foot of road, basically 3 foot each side of the shoulder, or 4 foot, Stan?
4.
4 foot each side of the shoulder and have a nice pretty shoulder of the road, and now the center of the road's a pothole out.
It is, you come around that one curve out there, it's in bad shape.
I would,
I'd say there's a couple sections that need to overlay.
Real bad shape.
I would rather see the township set with the money and maybe next year look into trying to get a grant to repave the whole road and widen it at that point.
Because if we did that, wouldn't we have to redo the wings again, or the, what do you call them? The shoulders.
Shoulders, and just call it shoulders. To me,
Yeah, I don't have a problem either way. I mean, it's out there. We discussed it at our meeting, and I had Bert give us a price on it.
I was out there the other day, drove around, come around that curve, and I was really surprised how bad it is. Somebody's gonna lose control around that curve. The whole road really needs, the whole road is going bad, all the way up, and all the way in, it's going. And I think we haven't done anything in that road.
Well, we just don't have the money to do it. I mean, this is all the money we have. It's either wait, do the one portion now, or else wait and try and do the whole thing.
I'd rather wait and do the whole thing. But
We'll
that's
see
just
where
me.
we go, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is, and who knows, maybe county will be able to find another grant next year to cover part of that cost, and if we do the whole road.
Well, he
with
did.
our funds.
You know, I asked for it on the grant, and when Torch Lake was done, there was a safety grant.
Right.
There is not enough accidents on that section of road to justify a safety grant. But
For widening purposes, I understand that, but he got a grant for State Street going out here that we were willing to put some money, dollar bills up on to start with. Maybe he can do the same thing next year to do all of that Torchlight Drive, or Old State Road going out to Torchlight Drive.
no, you know.
I would rather see us sit on it and see if we can. I don't know.
I mean, there's no question about it. That's the way it should be done, the whole thing. But we don't have the money. It's either we'll sit on it and try and accumulate enough, or go with a portion of it now. I mean, that's what, I don't know, I looked, 110, that's about all we have left.
Roughly right around there,
Yeah,
I
if we
think,
get-
115.
Yeah, once we get the 10, if we get the 10% off of the 193, then we have some extra money there. But I mean, it's not enough to do anything else.
What if, we looked at, like, from the village limits to, say, Kiesel Road, because I think that's, coming down Dean Hill into the village is probably the worst. Is that where you were coming down, right?
Well, out
Around
at
the
Kiesels, there's a curve that you come around, and that's bad.
Yeah, that one's bad too, yeah. But, maybe do one section, do the whole road, but do half of it this year and then half of it later on, or would it be better just to do it all at once?
Myself, I'd like to see it get done all at once.
Yeah.
I agree, I agree with Bill on that statement. And there's nobody says we have to spend the money right away.
No, that's, I mean, we waited
We just, yeah.
different times for a couple of years before we could build up enough to do the project.
Sure.
Next time I talk with Bert, I'm going to point to Colin. He was off today, that to look at the price of doing the whole thing, or do you want to get a price on doing portions of it? Or just wait and do the whole thing?
I say wait and do the whole thing.
Okay, I mean, it seems without having a vote on it, that the general, it looks like there's 3 votes for sure that, so we'll just
What do we do, table this?
table it and bring it back, and then we have funds. Should have a motion on that, do something on it.
I make a motion Westfield Steak between East Torch Lake and Village Limits.
I support it.
And bring it back when we have funds. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, move on to public comment.
I have a letter that I'd like to read to the board, addressed today to the members of the Central Lake Township Board. After careful thought, I have made the decision to retire from the position of trustee of the township, effective the end of business on Monday, June 30th, 2014. I want to take this opportunity to thank the residents for having the confidence to vote me into office and serve them for 25 years, and have enjoyed meeting and working with them. Sincerely, Bill Gadwau.
Sorry to hear that, Bill.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the years of service, Bill.
Thank you.
You know, I've already told you I hate to see you go, but I understand that, you know, you feel that it's time.
I'll make a motion to accept the retirement letter from Bill Gadwau.
I will
Well,
support it.
you adding this to the agenda?
No, I'm reading it in public comment.
I don't think it's, yeah.
So why do you need a motion?
To accept his resignation, or his retirement.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
If you're sure. And one more comment under public comment. If the board doesn't care, can I kind of work with Melissa Zelenak on that, see if we can come up with something that will help somebody if the board don't care on a cleanup?
Sure.
Your title, I mean,
Well, I want you guys to be aware of it.
yeah, well, that's okay. One other thing, the board will have to have a meeting, I guess that wouldn't be until after the first of the month, of how we're gonna go about with replacement. I mean, there's a lot of options out there, and after, when we do have 45 days, so that actually gives us 2 meetings.
45 from June 30th.
Make it, if for a meeting, make it fit your guys' schedule, I can make it fit mine.
Okay,
Are you still open for public comment?
sure.
Under public comment, I would like to recommend Walt for to fill Bill's position.
We're not to that point.
We're not,
I'm just saying,
yeah,
I'd like to recommend Walt.
okay, well, I mean, you know, the board discussion, you know, how we're gonna go about it, what we wanna do, I feel we give people time to think about it, and we'll just have a special meeting.
I just want to say thanks to Mr. Gadwau. I mean, he's been around forever, and thank you. We're gonna miss you.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, there's no question about it, there's a lot of things that go back, and,
He's been there a long, long time. Half my life.
A lot of knowledge lost.
okay, I guess we're to the point of adjournment.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn the meeting tonight.
I'll support. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.